And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of Lunch and Debates. I'm your fellow co-host Dibo, along with my other co-host Matt with me.
Two-man weaving today. Two-man weaving today. Back to the good old days.
Yeah, man, two man, no three man. Unfortunately, our boy Owen, sadly, he couldn't make it for today's episode due to personal issues, with traveling and all that jazz. So, hey, man, fortunate that we could have all three here for this very special episode. I know NBA is right around the corner. The season starts next week, and first, and I have all three guys here. Kind of disappointing, but Owen, our
Especially
good pal Owen, he is with us. He's with us here in great spirits, and we wish him good health along the way.
100%. But it sucks for him to miss this episode out of like all episodes. Like, not to hate on Owen, obviously, because that's our boy. But
No,
like,
no,
if
no,
Owen
not at
misses
all.
an NFL episode, like one, he doesn't care. Let's be honest, because he's publicly stated he don't care about NFL. But like, if he's missing NBA, then we're missing some like good takeaways because Owen always can contribute to NBA talk.
That is very true. And no disrespect to Owen on football. This year he's been trying
He's
way
been trying
more to be
100%.
following the game week to week by week, all the teams, which hey, I got commended for that, learning along this process. But man, we could have had some great content with Owen right now, some great takes. Hey, I would have baked him for him having Christian Brown or Peyton Watson for most improved with his prediction with this episode. But
Most
hey,
likely.
man, hey, yeah, we miss our boy, man. We miss our boy right now.
Nah, for sure. I'd expect him to be back for next episode though, so we hold our heads high for that. But yeah, he'll be regretting this one.
Oh, for sure, man. But hey, as the season goes along, we gonna bring out a lot more content from everybody here. So I can't wait. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait one bit.
Hey, I don't think lunchroom debates can wait either. You know, we had to put them on to NFL during the NFL season, but I think our biggest base is NBA fans.
No, no, I feel like with you know the big three here and with our special guests, our friends that come on here periodically throughout this podcast, I think that basketball by far is our most knowledgeable sport. Uh,
Most knowledgeable sport, best sport in America. Come on now,
debatably,
come on now.
debatably, I might give the NBA, they might take that crown this year from the NFL because to be honest, the NFL this year it's been a very bad product. When Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift been one of the biggest storylines this whole regular season, you have a problem with your product, man. The
Yeah.
NFL, Roger Goodell, y'all gotta step it up, man. Y'all gotta step it up, bro. This is not looking good. I'm tired of these poor primetime games. Tired of these poor offensive performances off poor QB play throughout the regular season so far, man. We gotta change something quick. We gotta make something shake real quick.
Nah, for sure. And like last night, I was with Abdul and Sadegi. I think Abdul's been on the pod before. I don't think Sadegi has.
No,
And
so
last
that
night we
yes.
were we were like excited for the football game because Jags and Saints, like those are two pretty good teams. You'd expect it to be at least a somewhat entertaining game, and it was entertaining, but not for the right reasons. If you get what I mean,
Mhm.
like it was entertaining because Derek Carr was just yelling and getting mad over bad throws that he made, yelling at his receivers. It was entertaining because he was being a dump off merchant. It was entertaining because the Jags let the Saints back into the game with like horrible penalties and turnovers. So I was like, it was entertaining, but not for good reasons in a sense.
No, and don't forget about Foster Monroe. God
The
bless his
drive.
heart, man. Bless his heart. Oh my God, I felt so bad for him last night. That game losing drop, man. You got to feel for him. You got to feel for that, man. But yeah, I do agree with you, man. You know, even with the more entertaining games in the NFL so far, most of the time it's not because of great play. It's not because of great product. It's because of wacky shenanigans. It's because of random BS that happens throughout the game, especially during a clutch time. So hopefully that'll change soon.
What do you think is the best game, the best NFL game that's happened so far this season?
This year.
Because
Uh,
yeah,
I really,
exactly.
I really liked Chargers Dolphins week 1. That was a really
Yeah,
good game.
yeah, yeah. That actually might be game of the year so far.
That probably is.
You had high
Um,
scoring down to the wire. Both teams scoring 30 plus points. Both quarterbacks, I think, threw for over 300 yards.
I
So
enjoyed Browns Niners as well. Kind of a throwback to defense and low scoring. Gritty trench warfare throughout the whole game. That might be a potential game of the year candidate early in the season.
I can't lie. I can't lie. I was not a fan of that game. That game was happening, and before it started, I was so excited. Like before it started, I had that as like as taking over the whole TV. I was like primarily gonna focus on that, and then like it was as you pointed out, it was a defensive battle. So I'm trying to remember what the other game was during that time, but I ended up switching it to that. Um, it might have been. It might have been. No, it wasn't Eagles because Eagles played Jets later that day. I don't know who it was, but I definitely switched halfway through the game.
Hey, man, disrespect the trenches. I can't believe him. He not a trench guy. He love the sexy plays, points on the board. Which, hey, man, that's fair.
Hey, there's got to be trenches to protect the quarterback so he can make those plays, huh?
That is true. That is very
Mm.
true. But we gotta move on to obviously the episode for today. And with that being said, NBA, we back. NBA's back. Of course, opening night next Tuesday night. Lakers Nuggets to start off. Nuggets are gonna get their ring ceremony at Ball Arena. That's gonna be lit. We're natives from Colorado, so hey, we're gonna be tuned into that. The other game, Lakers Suns, right? Or is it Lakers Warriors again
No, it's
for
Suns
the
Warriors because
Suns
Nuggets
Warriors?
play
My
Lakers.
mistake.
Nuggets play Lakers.
My mistake. Suns Warriors. I said Lakers when I said when I said Nuggets Lakers before.
You're chilling.
My
You're
fault for being a
chilling. We
dumbass.
all been there.
My fault for being dumb. My fault. But yeah, Suns Warriors. Katie returns to Golden State. So it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be good times. And to kick off this year, we didn't do this last year, but we're gonna have our full season preview to kick this year off the 2023-2024 NBA season, and hey, it's gonna be a banger, man. It's gonna be a good one.
I do want to say one thing just before we get started because I was looking at the schedule just to confirm that it was Suns Warriors. So Suns Warriors, Nuggets Lakers. That's opening night. You want to know what two teams play the next night on primetime on
Mm,
ESPN?
oh, Celtics Knicks.
Celtics Knicks.
Yeah, I'll
Ooh,
be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
ooh.
I'll
I'll
be
be
there.
there to witness that win.
Nah, hey, we winning.
Hey,
We
RJ
winning.
Barrett buzzer beater. If you remember, first game of the season against the Celtics.
Hey, man, bro. All I gotta say, our big four: Drew, JB, JT, Porzingis. Bro, y'all can't handle us. Y'all not gonna handle us. We got that on lock.
Chill, chill. Julius Randle and his Skechers got you.
Bro, man, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, peace shooters compared to our team, man. We got real guns in here. We pack big
But
heat
you
in
guys are
here.
gonna take some time. You guys gotta take some time to get that continuity.
Man, and we going bro. Well, next Wednesday is gonna be a tune-up game, bro. I promise you that it's gonna be a tune-up game.
Oh, that's just
We just
disrespectful.
gotta, and we just gotta, there's gonna be some struggles early in the game. Of course, we know this first game of the regular season, but at the same time, I'm not worried about the Knicks in that game. But I'm not worried about the Knicks at all throughout the whole season. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Well, throughout the season, I would agree. I mean, I don't think we're a championship contender as currently constructed, but I'd say first game of the season, you guys got a good chance of being 0-1. Tom Thibodeau always comes in with a motivated team. Um, Guys just have more time together. Dante DiVincenzo and what is it? What's Villanova's mascot?
I don't even know.
It's not Bulldogs. It's not Bulldogs.
No, it's not. It's
But
not. No, not Hoyas. That's Georgetown. That is just
whatever it is, we got the chemistry that the Celtics lack. We just don't have the talent that the Celtics have.
Hey man, I wish I could put up that meme of Mike Tomlin and AB on the screen right now. You know that one meme, right? Of course,
Which
you know that
one?
one meme. We all know that ain't happening. That bleacher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was
would
the first one to
plaster
send it to
that.
the chat.
That is true, but I'd plaster that right now in the middle of the screen, just because like what you said was complete BS. Well, we blowing
Hey,
you up by like 20 double
hey,
digits in
everybody
the
talk
first
when they up. Everybody talk when they up.
Everybody talking.
But that, hey,
That's
but
crazy.
that's Luka Doncic and that's basketball. So let's get back to basketball. And what are we
We need
starting with?
to. We need to. So, a quick rundown of the segments for today's episode. First, we are going to go with our hot takes, then breakout players for this season, and then award predictions, go down through the whole slate and predict everybody for each award category. And lastly, to wrap up the episode, we are going to give out our quick finals predictions for this season.
Love it, love it. So let's start with hot takes then.
Yeah, absolutely. And with hot takes, here's how it will go. We are both going to give out two hot takes each from us, one in each conference, one in the East, one in the West. And without further ado, Matt, you trying to go first?
You want me to start with the East or the West?
You can go with anyone.
No. You got to tell me. You got to tell me because
Oh,
they're
okay,
both they're
that's
both
fair.
hottest
That's
takes.
fair. That's fair. Go with the East. Go with the East.
Ooh, I think the East is a better take, honestly. So well done, Debo. My hot take for the Eastern Conference is that Trey Young will be a dark horse MVP. I think
Whoa,
that
from a Trey Young hater,
from a Trey
Trey
Young
Young
hater,
hater, a
from a
Knicks
Trey,
fan, giving
yes,
Trey Young some love. Hey, that's crazy. Hey, we are moving up with Matt's takes on Trey Young
I,
because earlier, man, yo, he was talking a lot of smoke. Came in 0-2 about Trey Young, but I was defending my boy the whole time. So man, I'm gonna let you continue.
yeah. I think that with a full year of Quinn Snyder, and we've obviously seen how Donovan Mitchell succeeded in a Quinn Snyder system. I think having Trey Young with a full year in it, now that he's learned it, I think DeJounte and him will have more chemistry with one another. And I think moving a piece like John Collins for more floor spacing and having Onyeka Kanu take over that starting center spot, I think will open up the game athletically. I think they'll run the fast break more. I think Trey Young might finally move off ball and off screen, which we've been wanting to see for years now. Um, and we might see Dejounte be like a playmaker with him, or Dejounte play that point guard role. Excuse me, while Trey Young is running around the screens. So I'm expecting Trey Young to one have the offensive season that we know he's capable of, but two, they lost John Collins or they traded John Collins away, and now they have more defense in their starting lineup and their bench unit, which ultimately just makes the team around him better.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that. With the Hawks this year, I don't know. A lot can depend on how they'll finish in the Eastern Conference. You know, with Quinn Snyder having his first full year as their head coach, we know they have the talent, the superstar, borderline superstar in Trey, alongside other pieces as well in Bogdanovich, Onyeka Okongwu, DeAndre Hunter, Dejounte Murray, like you said. So they have the pieces to, at worst, be a top five team in the East. But again, the chemistry, the coaching, the cohesiveness, all that's got to come together for them to finish well this year. And obviously, Trey Young, he's going to be a big part of that.
No, for sure. But as you have mentioned, that I am a bit of a Trey hater in the past. So if he disappoints me this year, and they have another scenario where they're a low seed in the playoffs, they were 7 seed last year, 8 seed the year before. Um, Lost in six last year, I think, right? To you guys, was it
Yeah,
six?
yeah.
And then
It should
five
have
the
been
year
a sweep,
before.
but
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. If it's like that back to back and then back again,
Mhm.
well, I'm not gonna be coming on here saying the same stuff.
No, and that's fair. That's absolutely fair. All
All right,
right.
your
Mhm.
hot take out of the East.
Yeah, my hot take out of the East about the Orlando Magic,
Oh,
specifically their young star Paulo Banchero, and with Banchero, he will make both the All Star team out of the Eastern Conference and All NBA this season.
all star starter or just all star.
This All Star team in general. It don't matter if he's a starter or a bench player.
I think all star for sure. I could definitely see that happening. All NBA. There's no more positions, which scares me. Which scares
That
me.
is very true. That is very
Um,
true. But I think with my evaluation on Ben Carroll as a player, the sky's the limit for him. Absolutely. In his rookie year, he won the Rookie of the Year award last year. Showed his versatility of being a scorer. I know the 3 point shooting efficiency that needs to be better, which I believe it will with his skill set. Him alongside Franz Wagner, those two as an offensive duo, well, with them having another year under their belt, I think they'll take a big leap. And I also got the Magic being one of us like a sleeper team out of the East this year. I won't be surprised if they not just make the play in or make the playoffs in general. And I believe that Boncaro will be a big part of that. Last year, an efficient scorer, three-level scorer, already showed flashes of being a playmaker. And I think with him, like I said before, Wagner, Marco Fultz, other young pieces on that team, Wendell Carter Jr., I think he'll take that leap this year to become one
yeah.
of the more uh, bigger stars in our league in the NBA.
Well, you said a couple of things there. First, you said that the Magic will be a playoff team. I agree with that. I have the Orlando Magic making my playoffs as well. Um, and then reiterating about Paulo Banchero being on the All NBA team, I think that that can be a pretty good argument. I mean, he was a player who participated in the Olympics this year for Team USA, and because of that, he kind of is in game shape compared to a lot of these guys. I mean, seeing him in preseason, he's looked more fit, more ready.
Hmm.
Kind of had a higher intensity than the rest of the guys on the rosters. So I think if he can carry that into the regular season and get off to that hot start, then he's in a good running for it.
Absolutely. But did you see that dunk he had on Valanciunas earlier this preseason?
Yes,
Insane.
yes,
And we posted it
yes.
on our social media platforms too. Shameless plug, but we gotta do it.
Go follow, go
That
follow.
dunk was
I love some
crazy.
debates.
Yeah,
Um,
please go follow. But yeah, like I said, that dunk was crazy, man. And the sky's the limit for him for sure, for sure.
100%. All right, should we move to the West?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you had a team making the playoffs. You said Orlando would make the playoffs. That wasn't your hot take, but you said that. I don't have a team making the playoffs, but I have a team making the play in, and that's the Portland Trailblazers. Assuming as currently constructed, so assuming Malcolm Brogdon will still be there and stuff.
Yep.
Um, and here's why. Here's why. Because I see your reaction, and you might be thinking I'm crazy, but this team still has like kind of win now pieces in a sense. Like Robert Williams was just a depoy candidate on a team that was in the championship a couple years ago, 2 years ago. Malcolm Brogdon was the sixth man of the year last year. They paid Jeremy Grant a ton of money. He's going to be there for the season because I don't think that contract is movable as of right now. It might be down the line, but I don't think it is as of right now. You have DeAndre Ayton, who is a center who's played in the finals, played elite in the playoffs too on that finals run. Anthony Simons, a guy who's just a bucket getter, and Scoot Henderson, who's one of the most exciting rookies. He'll probably be on the all rookie first team. So I think you have a very talented roster. I think they I think the only way that this is just a complete dud is if they tank. That's a very legitimate possibility. Um but if they're trying to win, I can definitely see this team making the play in.
I mean, okay, I can see where you're coming from, Matt. The young
Mhm,
talent on that team just can't be
mhm.
ignored.
Right.
School,
The
Sharp,
progression has showed us that.
Simons. That's true. I'm expecting a big leap from Shaden Sharp this year. High flyer guy, can score. Um, Mad crazy man. Like I said, fucking jumps out the gym too. He's gonna have a few more highlight reels too this year. I can't wait.
Mhm.
Those highlights coming in. But there's just one big problem with the Trailblazers this year for me.
And what's that?
And that's yeah, that is their head coach and Chauncey Billups. That man does not move me at all as a head coach. I believe he is a top five worst coach in the entire league by far. Like, you look at him, his resume. What does he do good as a coach? Is he good offensively? No, not really. They're very mediocre last year. Are they? Is he even a good defensive coach? No. Again, they were mediocre last year statistically. Player development. Is he good with developing players?
I'd argue
No, not
yes.
really.
That's the one thing I'd argue.
Shaden Sharp should have had, bro. Shaden Sharp should have been had like way more minutes throughout
Yeah,
the year
yeah.
last year.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree
That
with
was
that.
a big mistake he had. And I'm looking at this team. I'm looking at this young core, and I just don't think Chauncey Billups is the right guy for this squad. And I think he's gonna be one of the first, if not the first, to be fired uh, this year out of the whole coaching pool, the whole head coaching pool.
Ooh, I don't know if first to fire because like what are the Trailblazers' expectations? Like what could they fire him? Like if they finish 15th in the Western Conference, like or can they really fire him? Just because like not I
It
don't know if they're
honestly
necessarily
depends. It depends
expected.
on if players develop or not, and if consistency stays positive. If team chemistry stays positive, so there's a lot of factors you can add into as well. Play making the playoffs or not. That's not the only factor you can put into the situation.
No, for sure. For sure. But I would say player development wise, we saw Anthony Simons take some big leaps since Chauncey took over. We've seen them win a summer league, if you count that as player development. Although they cut the summer league MVP and Trenton Wofford, so you do what you want with that. But Chauncey Billups is a very fair concern because I'm not too high on him either. So I'd agree with you there.
Hey man, bet. All right. From my hot take out the West, uh, I know I already said this during this offseason about well, for this team, but I had the Oklahoma City Thunder being a top four team in the Western Conference.
Oh, so you changed it. You had him as top five before.
Top four.
Top
Top
four.
four, man.
I
Top
was, I was I'm not gonna lie, I was about to write it, and I was like, we already said it. Plus, Debo might bring it. I'm like, I won't do it. But I mean, I 100% agree with this. I 100% agree with this.
Hey man, and I'm gonna stick to it. The biggest question mark with this team, the majority of people are saying, well, the youth, are they ready to take that next leap? But in my opinion, they are. What they showed last year, almost making the playoffs in general without a big the whole year. They were missing Chet Holmgren with his foot injury that whole season, and just to see the rise of young stars like Shea Gilgeous Alexander, um, Josh Giddey, Jada, Jalen Williams as well, and to also bring in a guy like Chet Holmgren in his first year to be that big paint presence, to be that big lob threat, to be that option as a big to be a scorer. I just think that would put them over the top, and that would confirm them to be one of the premier teams in the Western Conference, young team or not.
No, for sure. Because this was a young team, as you mentioned, that was fighting in the play-in last year. I believe they beat the Pelicans and then lost to the Timberwolves, and that ultimately ended their season. But for a young core like them, where the average age of the roster is probably 23, 24, like not old at all, to get that kind of experience in a playoff intensity scenario, I think is a very good thing. It's something that these young teams like the Orlando Magic from last year, like the Indiana Pacers this year, like who I said the Portland Trailblazers should be striving for because that's how you get that progression. And I think we
Mhm.
will see that progression with the Thunder this year in a sense that they will be a top five, top four team in the West.
Oh, man, yo, I'm telling you, man, their culture, one of the best cultures in the entire league already. Like when you compare the Thunder to other young teams in the league, like a Charlotte, that situation's
Houston.
horrible as it is. And like Houston before they got Ime Udoka, they are. I know they're young. I know they're young, but these guys, they're determined. They're hungry. They're gonna keep their heads down. They're not gonna talk a lot of smack, but when it comes to being on the court, they're gonna play their ass off. They're gonna fight every single night, and I just think that they're ready. They're ready to take they're ready to take the leap. They're ready to take
They're
the
not
next step.
they're not gonna talk that smack, but they'll come wearing some of the best pregame fits.
That is
Mm.
true. Shout out Josh Giddey and Shay. Those
Shay,
two, they
ooh,
got they got that shit on for sure. They got that shit on for sure.
Shay be killing the fits.
That's
Um,
true.
I just had something top of mind, but I forgot. So since I forgot, do you want to move on to breakout player?
Oh damn! You forgot your hot take. Oh,
No, I have my hot take. It was Blazers.
oh, oh shoot!
I was gonna add
Okay,
something, but I forgot. I was gonna add something
okay.
to Thunder. Oh, that's what I was
I
gonna add.
just say another thing.
They also got one of my favorite coaches, and Mark D. I can't
Mark
pronounce his last name
Dagno,
well.
Mark Dagno, Dagno. Is it Dagno or
It's
Dagnow? I think
I
it's
don't know.
Dagnow.
I don't know. That's kind of why I stayed away from it.
That's true.
Either way
Yeah,
though, that man can cook up.
that's
He has
true.
been playing good ball.
Very good ball. They were even then. When you look at their statistically, defensively, they were one of the better defensive teams in the entire league last year. Even without any big, like they were starting undersized bigs like Jalen Williams, and also Jeremiah Robertson Earl, two undersized bigs who they have some scrappiness to them, but you don't want them to start for a whole season. So shout out to him on that behalf.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to introduce my breakout player in a fun way. Let's say, okay. So there's different types of progression in the NBA. You can go from a quality rotation piece or bench piece to a quality starter, right? You can go from a quality starter to an all star. You can go from all star to star and star to superstar, right?
Mhm.
I think my player is going to go from the quality starter slash all star border to star, and that player is Tyrese Maxey. With the situation that's going on with James Harden, it seems like either he's going to hold out or he's going to be in a fat suit opening night of the 76er season. Um, and we know James Harden, when he wants out, he just will not play the type of ball you want him to play. So I think Tyrese Maxey, we saw the strides he made, especially last year in the playoffs. He was basically the Sixers' best player, if not second best player. I think he can fill in. I think he can fill in and do James Harden's role basically to a T. He could add more scoring. James Harden was a 20 and 10 guy last year. I think Tyrese Maxey could be a 25 and 7 guy this year. And I think he will get that first All Star nod.
Hey man, I'm agreeing with what you guys say about my boy Tyrese. Quick statistic for you. Last year without James Harden, with the Sixers that regular season, Tyrese Maxey he averaged 25, 4, and 5 on really good efficiency throughout that time span.
Hey, I was right about that 25 points then, huh? I said 25 and 7. Maybe I was overrating the assist,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's my breakout player. I was really close to putting, we were talking before, I was really close to putting Jordan Poole, but I feel like that's just such a common answer right now. I feel like you don't even need to watch basketball and you would have Jordan Poole. So I think Tyrese Maxey's kind of my guy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Jordan Poole, oh man, hey, Wizards, they're probably not gonna win a lot of games, which for their status right now, it's probably a good thing, for
Yeah.
them to be on the rebuilding track. But Jordan Poole, hey, it's gonna be a movie every night, so I'm gonna tune in to some Wizards games this year on Stream East.
He had a 30 in the first half against the Knicks.
Yeah, the other
So,
game, I watched that one clip of him him shooting the ball, and Danny Abbott, he was pissed at him. You stay in the corner. Yeah,
I saw
that
that.
was funny.
I saw
That was
that.
funny.
They better feed
Yeah,
my boy
man.
Denny though.
That, Danny Abbott, nice man. If they made if the Wizards made him like as their primary facilitator, I think he would take a very big leap this year.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree with that. Who is your breakout player, Debo?
All right. So from the East, uh, mine is a lot more under the radar, and I'm gonna go with center Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
big sleeper, and I think with Mark Williams right now, he's obviously going to get the keys to the five spot, the starting center position on that Hornets team. Thank God, thank God, thank God. No more Montrezl Harrell, no more Mason Plumlee,
I mean,
no more undersized bigs. We're gonna get an actual rim protector in Charlotte, which they haven't had an actual rim protector in a very long time since like what Bismack Biyombo. I mean, come
mm,
on,
oh yeah,
that's how bad it's been. No offense to Biyombo, but they've
yeah,
been lacking rim protection for a while now. And with Mark Williams, again, he's shown gr- great ability as a rim protector, being around the rim, and offensively on that side of the ball. Yeah, he has solid touch at a young age too, and also he's a very good lob threat. And him and Lamelo Ball in that pick and roll, they could get a lot of stuff going on, man. They could be high flying this year. So, hey, you heard it from your first. Look out for Mark Williams to cement himself as one of the best rim protecting centers in the entire league this year. Look out for him.
I think that the Hornets literally need Mark Williams to play like Mitchell Robinson. Literally be a 10 and 10 guy, protect the rim, get the rebounds, and catch the lobs. LaMelo's going to be one of the best playmaking point guards. He's going to give you plenty of rim runs and alley oops. You need to catch those, come down with it, and be aggressive. And if he can do all that, then the Hornets have their center for the next 5-10 years.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I feel like with his player comp, I'm gonna say Hassan Whiteside when he was on the Heat, but with way more high motor, and I feel like with this Hornets team and with their defensive woes last year, being one of the worst defensive teams by far, Steve Clifford, he really banks on defense. That's his style of coaching. I really think Mark Williams is gonna play a key part in this team's future.
That's a coach who I could see on the hot seat, Steve Clifford.
Absolutely. Because Charlotte's a mess. Charlotte's an
Charlotte
absolute mess.
Charlotte has potential to make the playoffs this year, though. I
They do, but I don't really see it because of their culture. It's horrible right now. I mean, look at the entire team. Look at the entire team.
culture. You don't know, is Miles Bridges even playing this year?
I have
Gordon,
no clue how that situation's gonna go.
yeah,
You got the Miles Bridges situation going on. Kai Jones, he got cut. James Bouknight, he's been in trouble with the law. Lamelo, can he step up as a leader for this team? Can
King
Terry
Gordon.
Rozier and Gordon Hayward, can they contribute as veterans on this team?
Hmm.
There are a lot of question marks with this team and their culture in general. So they could possibly be the worst team in the entire league by far, which is sad
Yeah,
because they're a very talented team. But
and
hey,
it's sad also.
culture goes a long way.
It's sad also because how long have we been saying that they could be the worst team in the league this year? It seems like we've been saying that on repeat for the last like 7 years.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, man, the Hornets. I don't know. There's some going wrong in Charlotte. I don't know if it's the water or anything, but this is bad juju. Very bad juju.
Yeah, yeah. Not the water. It's not. It's not. I don't want to get canceled, but we all know what place I'm thinking of.
Hey, man, we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Let's move on.
We
Let's
gotta
move
move
on.
on. We gotta
Let's
move
move
on.
on.
Hey, all love, man, all love. We don't mean no harm. We don't mean no harm at all. Salute. All right. um, shoot. Okay, we gotta move on to the West, the Western Conference. Matt, you trying to go first?
Um. Yes, my breakout player. I don't think that this is a statistical thing. It's not going to be a statistics thing. But Terrence Mann. Um. Today it actually came out that Terrence Mann locked up the fifth starting spot in the Clippers lineup. Um. And I'm so happy for Terrence Mann. Me and you have been Terrence Mann believers and sayers for
Mm-hmm.
such a long time now, and for him to finally be inserted in that starting lineup, um, it put a smile on my face when I saw the alert. One, it meant that he's staying with this team, that they're sticking with him and not doing the James Harden trade. Um, and two, it kind of shows like he's been in the gym and he's finally proved what he needed to prove to Ty Lue. So one, I think that already is like a kind of a good sign because they brought back Russell Westbrook. Sure, they lost Aaron Gordon, but Bones Highland has been looking good. in the preseason. He went off actually last night against the Nuggets, the revenge game. Um, but Terrence Mann finally overcame whatever mountain it was that was keeping him out of the starting lineup. And I think that with Kawhi and with PG always being out of the lineup, I think that having a solidified starter in Terrence Mann will have him just being more comfortable in a sense of he'll know his offensive role better. He'll have an expanded offensive role one night and an expanded defensive role the other night. So I think he'll be asked to do bigger things this season than any other year before, and I think he'll be able to do them.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I feel like with Terrence Mann right now, him already being a solid catch and shoot guy from 3-point range. Of course, we can't forget about that playoff game he had versus the Jazz, Game 6 closeout. He was going crazy. And you add that alongside with him being a very solid defender at his size and position. I feel like he's kind of an X factor for the Clippers moving forward, as he is one of the more younger players on this team, on this Clippers team. That let's be honest, they need a little bit of juice. They need a little bit more youth, man. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of their players are not getting any younger. PG's getting up there in age. Kawhi's getting up there in age. Nick Batum, Norman Powell. I know people don't like. Well, I know Clippers fans, they don't like the man at all. But Marcus Morris is getting up there in age. But
Mhm.
so, hey, man, Terrace man, like Matt said, I think he's gonna have a very big role with this team this year.
No, you're speaking about age. I'm looking at their roster right now. So they have a couple players who are young, like Josh Primo. He's not going to be in the rotation. Um, their
I
youngest
honestly hope not.
their youngest player in the rotation is Kenya Martin Jr., who's 22. And then you have Bones Highland, who's 23. The next youngest player in the rotation is Ivica Zubac, who is 26. So they committed fully to winning a championship. We obviously saw that with all the picks they gave up in the Paul George trade. Um, and it is win now time. I mean, you had the first couple years where you could blame it on the pandemic, you can blame it on chemistry, you can blame it on injuries, but at some time you have to win. And this might be the last year. We've been saying they might need to blow it up last year and the year before that, and this has to be the year that they win. And so, for it to be a win now situation to the max, and to have Terrence Mann in the starting lineup, I think is the correct decision.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But who is your
All
breakout
right.
player in the
All
West?
right. My breakout player, a little bit more common player right now, probably one of the more hated players in the entire league. But I'm going to go with guard Jalen Green out of the Houston Rockets. Hey man, I got faith in my guy. I believe in my guy. I
No,
got
no, no.
faith.
I'm not doing that because you said Jalen Green. Does Jalen Green count as a breakout player?
I,
Is that that's
I believe,
is it like putting Anthony Edwards as a breakout player? Is what I'm trying to say.
bro. Anthony
Is
Edwards already made an All Star team.
I know, but I'm saying like years past. Just because he is like a high lottery
Oh,
pick
okay.
with all that potential, does it count? Because like people had like when John Morant won Most Improved Player, people were saying it wasn't justified because that's expected from a high pick to reach those heights of being an All Star, All NBA player. So does it count? Is my question. If it counts, then let's discuss.
I believe it counts, man, because what accolades does Jalen Green have? Barely anything, and I feel like I think right now a lot of people are very low on him for his poor efficiency. Yeah, Matt included, and his on and off scoring, being a high volume shooter, and off the court things that we will not get any further into for this episode. And so,
Mhm.
with that being said, I feel like with now with Ime Udoka being put in with this young roster and alongside the veterans like Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks, I honestly think that one, he's gonna have more effort defensively, especially with a guy like Udoka putting more effort on that side of the ball, and also with more veterans in his head, he's gonna make a lot more right decisions, make a lot more solid plays, especially offensively with this playmaking and shot selection. So I feel like the sky's the limit for Jalen Green right now, and I believe that don't be surprised if that man gets a couple All-Star nods this year around the All-Star break. I really believe that he's going to be in those convos. He is going to be in those convos. And with my stat line for Jalen Green this year, I feel like 23, 24 points per game a night, alongside 4 rebounds, 5 assists on good efficiency. Very solid efficiency. I think that's the standard. I think that's the expectation for me, for Jalen Green this year, as a player.
All right, all right. I agree with you. I do think Jalen Green will definitely be better this year. I think on paper, the Rockets have one of the most like fun starting lineups. Like just like on paper as an idea, you have Fred Van Vliet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., and then LP. No more KPJ, so LP will basically. I hope they let LP run like point center like they do with Jokic. I know they signed Fred Van Vliet to a lot of money, but the offense looked really good when LP was the main ball handler. So I hope they at least keep that within the system. And we did see Jalen Green look a lot better as the year progressed. Once Alperen Sengun started a ball handle, started to be that point center, started to be the baby Jokic, baby Sabonis. Um, and so I think if that can continue, he obviously has better vets, a better culture within that Houston locker room, and obviously a better coach, upgrading from Steven Silas to Ime Udoka. Um, so yeah, I'd agree with Jalen Green improving this year. Breakout player out of the West. I mean, it was kind of tough. It was kind of tough finding a breakout player out of the West. I can't lie. That's kind of why I had to go with Terrence Mann. But
Mm.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, if I'm being honest.
Hey man, I mean, it was between Jalen Green or Austin Reeves. I mean, and Austin Reeves, obviously, he got a ton of popularity last year for his play, and I'm not gonna lie, for him being on the Lakers. So I didn't want to mention him, just to not be more like with the common community, their take on him as a player. So I'm gonna go with Jalen Green.
As I look at the NBA standings right now, specifically the Western Conference, I strongly regret picking Terrence Mann because I see Devin Vassell was available. I think
Fair,
Devin
fair
Vassell is
choice.
going to have a special year with the Spurs. I think he's going to get a lot of those open looks from Wemby kickouts, and he's their best shooter, so I expect him to be knocking them down.
Yeah, Matt, I agree with you as well. Devin Vassell, I had a lot of praise for him last year. Uh, Honestly, if he played more games, I know that he had a big injury that sidelined him for about 1/3 of the season. So to be honest, I feel like if he played more, I really think he should have been in serious most improved player convos. And leading up to this year, I think he'll be in those convos once again. Him alongside Wemby, that could possibly be a very good duo in the future. And I think with the Spurs this year, if Devin Vassell emerges as their number two guy, as their number two scorer, just behind Wemby, of course, that team's gonna go a very long way in the future.
Yeah, yeah, they will. And Wemby's been looking really good in preseason. He's been looking really good, like
So
like so good that I had to have him on my list somewhere. Wink, wink. If you already know.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm feeling the same vibe as you, man.
Okay. I
Moving
thought it
forward
was
this episode.
yeah, it was a I felt like it was a consensus pickish. Um
hmm
so award races then. You wanna start off or you want me to start off?
You can start off again. You want to start off MVP?
No, we gotta save MVP for last. That's like the biggest.
Fair enough.
What's
Fair
what's
enough.
what's the least that we care about?
The
Rookie of
least
the
that we care
year,
about.
six man of the year, coach of the year,
Yeah, yeah. Let's just knock out 6 man. Let's knock out six
six
man of the
man
year.
of the year. I
hmm
was down to two Western Conference teams. The Suns and Eric Gordon was number two. Number one was my boy CP3 from the Golden State Warriors. Um, I understand the look. I understand the look. It is a bit of a meme take. Um, but I think that Chris Paul is going to help Jonathan Kuminga a lot this year. I think that we're going to see Jonathan Kuminga have a big stride. You'll see that later as well. And I think that in part that's going to win him Six Man of the Year. I think that him being a facilitator when Draymond Green gets ejected from a game or when Draymond Green gets suspended, because it happens once a year, um, or multiple times a year. I think him being able to facilitate so Steph doesn't have to play like that true point guard role of a facilitator, so he can still move off ball and have the gravity that we know as Stephen Curry, I think will be monumental. And I think that he'll be able to come in and keep the level high for the Warriors, which was something that definitely didn't happen last year. I mean, last year their starting lineups was still positive. One of the best starting lineups in the league last year, and yet they were struggling to make playoffs. Like they didn't really solidify their spot in the playoffs outside of the play-in tournament until basically the last 2 weeks of the season. And so that was in large part to the bench, and I don't think that the bench will have a big drop off this year.
No, no, not at all. CP3, even including Kaminga off that bench, I think those two are going to be very key contributors. And for Chris Paul, um, him and Steph Curry on the same lineup. Defensively, I have some issues with that from a size and overall like conditions perspective. But offensively, that is gonna be a lot of fun for this Warriors offense, man. You got CP3 being the main facilitator, well, alongside Draymond with that scheme, and you have, of course, Steph. He's gonna, as he's been accustomed to do for his entire career, especially with Steve Kerr as the head coach. Come, over those screens on the perimeter, get open looks. Be a menace for opposing defenses, and you add a guy like Chris Paul, who's one of the greatest passers of all time, one of the greatest players passing the ball that we've ever seen in this league. That guy alongside Draymond, those two are gonna pass him the ball consistently. Yo, look out, man! That Warriors team is gonna put up a ton of points this year. They are going to blow these teams out if those key guys can stay healthy throughout the whole regular season.
Well, that and it's like if Kaminga does hit this stride that I'm expecting, right? So now you have a CP3 and Kaminga pick and roll working. So you have to defend the paint. Now you're defending the paint with Clay Thompson, with Steph Curry out on the wing shooting. So it's like if everything goes right, which is a big if, but it's what I'm suggesting. If everything goes right, this Warriors team could be looking like one of the best offenses.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Okay, with my six man of the year, um, gonna go with a more common selection for this award, and that is your boy Matt Emmanuel Quickly from the
Love
Knicks.
it, love it.
Um, One, I added him here, just for you to shut up because of last year with Malcolm Brogdon getting the Six-Man award.
Undeserved.
That was his award. Don't
Undeserved.
talk. No, no, don't. My man Brogdon deserved that award. But
No.
with the but with the quickly, of course, obviously, already cemented himself as being one of the best bench scorers in the entire league by far. Defensively, he has taken a solid jump throughout his career too, compared to his first year in the league. And so I feel like with the consistency, he knows his role, he knows what he needs to do for this next team. I really feel like that would be a huge difference in this in this award race, which it honestly is every year for the six man of the year. I mean, you had guys like Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams winning it consistently on a year by year basis because they knew their role and they knew how to produce in their role. So for Maynard quickly, I think we'll follow on that same train this year.
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson too. Jordan Clarkson too. Um, and I was really close to picking like that flamethrower, get the bucket off the bench type of guy. And I was between Malik Monk and Emmanuel quickly, but I kind of wanted to be unique because I feel like nobody has really said Chris Paul in Six Man of the Year. So I kind of wanted to stand out, I guess.
Nah, man, people just want to say Chris Paul wash jokes like Celtics Shaq. Who else? Who else
Yeah,
should we compare
I've been seeing
CP3 to? Like,
JJ
yeah,
Redick in the
Shaq
Bucks.
in the but no, he was nice on the Bucks, bro. I remember that Bucks team. He was nice in Milwaukee.
He was nice, but
JJ
it's like
Redick,
after that,
JJ
nobody
Redick on the
remembers.
Mavs. No, JJ Redick on the Mavs. That's a
Yeah,
way better comparison on the Mavs. Who else? Oh, T Mac on the Spurs. Dominique Wilkins on the Celtics. Patrick Ewing on the Supersonics. The Orlando Magic. Like I can go on with a bunch of washed players in basketball over the years, but hey, we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Ooh, whoa. What award would you like to switch to?
Yeah, let's go with Coach of the Year next. Coach of the Year.
Ooh, I actually really like my pick for this, and my pick is Taylor Jenkins. Um,
Hmm.
I picked Taylor Jenkins because of the John Morant suspension specifically. We know that in the past, Taylor Jenkins and the Memphis Grizzlies have, let's be honest, overwhelmingly succeeded when John Morant has been either out of the lineup due to injury or away for whatever reason. Um, but you saw a couple years ago in the playoffs when John Morant went down with the knee injury, they were able to steal a game from the Warriors. That same year, they were like, wasn't it something ridiculous, like 27-2, or like 20-2 without Jaw.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, around that record, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
so that's kind of what I'm expecting this year. I'm expecting the Grizzlies to still be a hot team coming out this season without John Morant. I expect them to be a top 3 seed by the time John Morant returns, even without Tyus Jones. They obviously brought in Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose for that point guard position, and I think that will like be the catalyst for him winning this Coach of the Year award. Is, oh wow, he did all this without his star player, and now the star player is returning. Let's see how well they do, and they continue to be a top whatever team in the West like we've seen the last couple of years. So my pick was Taylor Jenkins.
Hey, shoot, with that pick, I understand where you're coming from, man. And I feel like with Taylor Jenkins, bro, let me just say this, man. The NBA community needs to give that man more love. We need to
Yes,
start putting
yes.
Taylor Jenkins in these best coaches convos, top 10, maybe even top 5 coaches in the entire league, just outside that list. Just the amount of work he's been putting in with the Grizzlies player development and them being consistently a top seeded team in the Western Conference ever since he's really, took off with a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bain over these years. And add the fact that with the media and us fans, all of us, you know, year by year, we don't expect the Grizzlies to, consistently be a top 3, top 2 team in the Western Conference. But year in, year out, when everybody's healthy, Taylor Jenkins is a big contributor to why there's such a very good team uh, consistently year after year. And we have to realize that. We have to realize that, and we need to start giving this man his praise. We need to start giving this man his flowers, and we need to start giving this man his respect too. Please.
Yeah, yeah. And the one way that like I feel like you can always tell a good coach is by like how the players perform even when the starters aren't there, right? Like key culture, Eric Spoelstra, right? They're notoriously good for having these undrafted players being able to step in and contribute. Um, and when you think about guys like under, I'm trying to think about guys under even Mike Malone, right? We saw Christian Brown having key minutes in the playoffs. We saw Peyton Watson having key contributions. Um, even guys like Ish Smith were making plays under Mike Malone and his system. And Taylor Jenkins has been the same, where no matter who's been in the lineup, no matter who's been inserted, they've been able to succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, Taylor Jenkins, certified top 10 coach in the league by far. Top 10 coach.
Especially with every, oh well, 100%. But you had so much going on last year with the John Morant suspensions, with Steven Adams who missed more than half of the season last year, and you
Desmond
went
Bain was hurt too.
Desmond Bain was
Desmond
hurt
Bain was hurt.
too. You had the Dylan Brooks shenanigans. You had to deal with all of that, and they still finished as the 2 seed. And Coach of the Year is a regular season award, so I don't want to hear shit about the playoffs.
Show that man more love. Show that
Hey,
man some more love, man.
for real,
Come
for real.
on.
Who's your Coach of the Year though?
My coach of the year. Hey, I'm gonna keep continuing my love for the OKC Thunder, and I'm gonna shout out Mark Dagnall for this award, Coach of the Year. I feel like I said before, earlier this episode, his ingraining of this culture, this team culture, already one of the best team coaches in the entire league. Youth movement or not, um, the players they're locked in, everybody's locked in, and I think with his scheme, his encouragement of hard nosed play on a night to night basis, and with them being a gritty defensive based team, to hang on game by game. I really think that, especially in the regular season, where effort matters a lot to win these games, especially during the middle and later stages. I really feel like that's going to be the difference to OKC getting a lot of wins this year, and I feel like that ultimately gives them the nod for this award.
I think we're killing it today. I think we're killing it with our picks. I think everyone has been pretty solid, and justifiable. If you remember last year, I mean everybody had Mike Brown winning Coach of the Year, but I have Mark D as my third coach runner up, so third in voting. And I think I was premature last year. Obviously, they didn't even make playoffs, but they were playing good basketball, and that's what I cared about the most. And I think now that they're going to have those wins, now that they're going to have a center like Chet Holmgren, which we were talking about earlier, we're obviously projecting them to have success, be top five, top four in the West. I think Coach of the Year is a real possibility for Mark D.
Hmm. For sure, for sure.
All
All
right,
right. Next one. Do we go most improved or depoy?
let's go deep boy because I don't like my most improved. I don't like my most improved pick.
That's fair. That's fair.
My depoy my depoy is a former depoy winner as well as a former MVP, and his
Mhm.
name is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Ain't. Oh man.
Giannis is coming with a vengeance this season. I was so close to putting him to my MVP, just with everything from him talking to the Bucks office saying, "Hey, we got to have results to, or I might not stay," and then they make the trades. They go out to make these win now moves for him. I think one, he has to justify himself, which Giannis has notoriously done throughout his career. Obviously, I think they won the championship the year after he signed the contract, the same year that they made the trade for Drew Holiday, which I think was also the same year that he won MVP in Depoy, if I'm correct. Um,
Hmm.
but he's shown that when they make these trades, when they're aggressive, he backs them up, and he plays his best ball when they do so, kind of as a sign of like thank you. So I'll take him as my Depoy.
Fair enough. I mean, Giannis, obviously, he's one of the best defensive players in the entire league by far. We can't ignore that. We all know what a what a player he is on that side of the ball. But I don't know, man. I'm looking at that award especially, and I'm just worried about the voter fatigue for him,
Ooh.
man. I just feel like with him being already a multiple time D point winner, I just think that the voters for this year, I know, and I hate voter fatigue too. I think voter
But
fatigue is one of the most BS things in sports in general, especially in
but
the NBA.
but I don't think voter fatigue happens for Depoy. I think it happens for MVP. But like, how many Depoys did Rudy Gobert win in a row? Like three or four, right?
Three, and
Three.
he's
Draymond
never
won.
been he's never been in those convos ever since. Draymond, he's won multiple depoys. Never been in those convos. Kawhi Leonard won multiple depoys. Never been in those convos again. And we can't, bro. Voter fatigue is a real thing, man. It is a real thing for any award, mainly the bigger awards like a depoy MVP, especially too as well.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Can I guess who your Depoy is? I have a feeling I know who it is.
Yeah,
Western
go ahead.
Conference.
No.
Okay, then never mind. Then never mind.
Yep. For my depoy, I'm going with Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat.
Oh, see, I've had Bam the last couple years. This was my first year actually not picking Bam in some time.
Hey man, I feel like this year's gonna be the year for sure. This year's gonna be the year Bam will win depoy, and how I see it, Giannis, like I said before, voter fatigue. He's not gonna get. Oh, excuse me. He's not gonna get it. Rudy Gobert, he's not gonna get it because of voter fatigue and defensively, he's kind of taken a bit of a dip these past couple seasons, especially
For
last
sure.
year in Minnesota. Anthony Davis, can he stay healthy for an entire year to be in those convos? I don't think
That
he will. And so I'm looking throughout the whole slate. I'm seeing the whole slate, and I feel like with Bam, he's already a top five defensive big in the entire league by far, maybe even top three. And with his improvements he's been making, especially him becoming more stronger on the low block in the post, his post defense, and you add the fact that he's already a very versatile defender as it is, especially with Jaren Jackson Jr., a similar guy, being those versatile bigs, winning the Depoy Award last year. I feel like that trend continues this year with the voting process.
Yeah. Um, I'm glad you mentioned Anthony Davis. That was who my guess was when I was like, does he play in the West? Because Anthony Davis was on the short list for me. Because to your point, when he plays, he's if Anthony Davis can play 60, 65 games a year, he's probably a lock for Depoy. But that's the problem. Is that
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna
exactly
happen, man. When's the
exactly
last time AD's even played over 65 games in a year? You gotta go back to like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
to the New
And
Orleans days?
right to the Pelicans days, and obviously we know how great of a defender AD is when he's completely healthy. But that's the thing; he's never healthy, especially during this time with the Lakers minus that bubble run. So I just don't see him winning a depoy anytime soon, which is it's honestly a shame because AD he is one of the best defensive players, arguably the best, going toe to toe with Giannis of his generation. So for him to not get a single depoy award in his entire career would be devastating, man,
It's
devastating.
sad. It's sad, especially like we saw this year, or I guess past year in the playoffs. Like first round, he had a 7 block game against the Grizzlies. I think he averaged like 3 blocks that series. Um,
Hmm.
and his defense was monumental to them making it to that Western Conference Finals. Um, and when he's healthy, when he was playing every single game, it was like, oh, I mean, I remember in our group chat we were talking like, if Anthony Davis is healthy and playing like this, like who can challenge him for Depoy? But that's if he's healthy, and that's arguably the biggest if in the NBA.
Yeah, man. To quote Charles Barkley from TNT, uh, hey, Anthony Day to Day Davis, that's not my words. Those are Chuck's words.
Anthony Day to Day Davis. It's crazy how that name, like that nickname, has stuck around for so long.
Yeah, yeah, that's bad.
That
Bad.
means there's some truth to it. Um,
Man. Hey, man, bro. Hey, all of the AD though. I love AD.
all
I
love though.
hope he can stay healthy the whole year. I hope he does.
All love because he's a top 15 talent. You could argue top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, in the league right now for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um,
which
yeah.
award do we want to move on to?
Let's go to most improved.
Most improved. I didn't like my pick because I just think it's a boring pick, but I got Mikal Bridges. Um, Mikal Bridges last year, when he went to the Nets, he jumped his scoring from 17 to 26. I think a full season is just bound to make him have that most improved spot. I do think that could be a detriment just because we've already seen him at this high level, at this star-studded level. But I think this year he'll obviously get his first All-Star nod. I think that he's always an Iron Man. I think he's still yet to miss a game in his NBA career, which is just a crazy stat. And I don't think he missed a game at Villanova either. Um, but I think that consistency, I think him being the number one option, him knowing that role, him having more familiarity with the Jacques Vaughn system, I think all signs are just pointing to MIP.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Obviously, Nico Bridges, once he got to Brooklyn post trade deadline, he showed flashes of being a potential number two guy, even a number one on a playoff contending team. So, yeah, that's a fair pick. I think that's a consensus pick as well. So, hey, man, like you said, Matt, it is boring, but hey, we just can't ignore the obvious sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that who you had as well?
No, actually, it's not who I had. I have a different
Ooh,
player, and
please.
Matt, you mentioned his name earlier this episode, but I'm going to go with Tyrese Maxey.
Okay. I had him as breakout player. I didn't want breakout player in MIP, but I can definitely understand the MIP not.
Yeah, man. Especially if James Harden, he doesn't want to play. the whole year. He even gets traded. I just think Tyrese Maxey, he's ready to take that next leap as the Sixers number 2 guy on their roster. So easy choice for me.
No, yeah. No
Hey,
complaints there.
somebody's
Yeah.
got to do it. It can't be Tobias Harris. It can't be Tobias Harris as a number 2 guy. It's got to be Maxey.
Don't worry. Don't worry. D'Anthony Melton is here. Shake
Oh,
Milton is here.
What about Paul Reed?
Paul Reed is here.
B-ball
Who else?
Paul.
No,
Haynes.
Montrezl Harrell isn't on the roster anymore, is he?
I don't even know.
Either
Actually,
way, he's here. He's here then.
hey.
PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker. How did I forget him?
Oh man, we gotta do this over again. PJ
Yeah,
Tucker love all year.
yeah.
No disrespect to PJ
That's
Tucker, but Matt,
that's who I should have
Matt,
had as my
Matt,
deep boy.
Matt, as what the kids would say nowadays, he is a glazer for PJ Tucker. He
Hey,
loves PJ Tucker.
who's the best
But,
Game 7 performer for the Sixers
the Sixers,
against the Celtics? Who's the best Game 7 performer?
um, I don't even know. I don't want to answer that.
It was PJ Tucker. That game against the Celtics.
Oh, that whole team was bad.
Exactly. That's why he was the best performer. He was like their second leading scorer. Or no, that might be Cap, but it was he had like his usual or not usual because he had like 12 points or something. So it was like a high
Oh,
scoring
bro.
game for him. But
Okay, so everybody on the team
was
on
ass.
the
Was
Sixers,
ass.
yeah, they were ass.
That's why he was like their
So
top performer.
yeah, okay, yeah, they were shit. So why are you comparing slightly less bad shit to even more shit? It's still shit.
Because you can say that PJ Tucker outperformed the MVP and a future Hall of Famer in a game 7.
But isn't that indictment? Isn't that an indictment on said MVP?
It is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. The hell? If I'm an MVP, how the fuck am I gonna let PJ Tucker outplay me in a game 7? And that's me talking about PJ Tucker. I don't think there's a person who respects PJ Tucker and claps and cheers for him more than me. But
That's true.
with that being said, if I'm an MVP candidate who I think led the league in scoring last year, was top 5 in it at
Yeah,
minimum.
he did. He did lead the league in
Yeah,
scoring. Yeah.
who led the league in scoring? There's no way I'm letting PJ Tucker outperform me in a game 7.
Embiid, man, that's my guy. Shout out Cameroon, shout out KU. That's my boy. That's always been my boy. But we gotta do better this year. We gotta do better this year, my man. I still got faith. I'm gonna keep the faith still, but yo, it's not looking good, my man.
It,
But
and
you gotta change it up, man. You gotta lock in, bro. Please lock
that's the
in, bro.
definition of a future Nick. Oh my god, it's actually gonna happen.
Oh, these convos,
No,
y'all not trading for a
he's a
star
future
this
Nick
year.
or a future Pelican, and no in between.
Future Pelican. Who would the Pelicans even trade for Joel Embiid?
They got young talent. They got like Dyson Daniels as a young piece. They got
Yeah, I do
Herb
not want
Jones,
Dyson
Trey Murphy
Daniels.
the third.
I do not want, do
All
not want
picks.
Dyson Daniels in that deal. I do not want Dyson Daniels in that
Well,
package.
he's not the star player. He's not the main trade piece. It'd probably be CJ. I'd assume because
Maybe.
I don't think they'd give up Brandon Ingram.
No, they wouldn't. No.
No, so it's probably CJ.
Zion, and Bi would be the only untouchables if the Packers were to go through with that trade.
And BR seems more untouchable than Zion at the moment. Because you remember during the draft, it was like the Pelicans were close to trading Zion for the number 2 pick
That's true.
because they
That's
wanted
true.
Scoot. They wanted Scoot.
Hey man. One more thing, Zion. We need you, my brother. We need you, my brother. Please,
Yes.
please, my brother. The whole community. We need you. We need you for a whole season. Please, my man. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I got faith in you, my boy.
No, not even a whole season. Just give us 60 games, bro. Give us 55 games.
60
Like,
games.
bro, I'd be so
Bro,
happy with that.
very happy, man. We need Zion because whenever Zion plays, must see TV, man. Whenever he's healthy,
100%.
which is unfortunate because his entire career, these injury issues, man. Issues with his size and overall body shape. Obviously, he's had massive attempts to try to become to slim down even more, but it just hasn't connected. So I'm hoping for this year and the seasons ahead that can change because I do not want him to be another Greg Oden. I do not want him to be another Sam Bowie. I know those are two
Brandon
lesser
Roy.
players of that extent. Brandon Roy too. That'd probably be the most comparable run. Brandon Roy, just a very talented player whose career got derailed because of injuries. So Zion, I'm hoping that doesn't happen to you. Great player. He seems like a very good person, a very
Mm-hmm.
nice person to be around.
Mm-hmm.
So that too. So man, hey Zion, we need you to play. We need you
Did
to
you
play.
have you seen that one corny video of Zion on FaceTime with the girl?
Oh, was it during his time at Duke?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That was
Hey man, it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody, especially
that's
athletes. It's just unfortunate.
oh for sure.
It's part of the game, man. It's part of the
Probably
game.
more than we know, to be honest.
No, no, it's a lot more worse. It's a lot more worse. It's a lot worse.
All right.
Hey, some people out there, man, they just want to do for his money, for his wealth, which is unfortunate because there are a lot of great women that would love, anybody to be with, but it's just a bad bunch, making it bad for everybody. So
Yeah. But Zion
this
really
is
stand
this is
out.
this is not a dating podcast, so we got to move forward with
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
not about it's not like
Let's
a relationship podcast, so we got to move
let's
forward.
uh let's move on. What's the next award you want to talk about?
Um, yeah, I mean, let's get rookie of the year out the way before we get to the
Rookie.
main thing, MVP. So,
Wemby. Wemby. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna say two one B for me as well.
do
One
we
B
need to spend any
for
time on it?
yeah, just to
I mean,
say
what you want?
this, um, 2K glitch, 2K demigod, 7'4", doing like between the leg dribbles, no look passes, doing fadeaway middies, fadeaway 3 pointers, asking for an alley oop, like right on the 3 point line. Like the dude's insane. He is going to be an all time player if he can stay healthy throughout his whole career. The only issue I have with Wemby, of course, it is
Frame.
his size, especially his frame, especially when he's gonna clash with other more physical bigs, stronger bigs in the paint, which could potentially lead to injury. But you take that away, bro. It's the writing's on the wall. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer one day. He's gonna be an all time great one day.
Yeah. And I mean, this was obviously said a lot in our pre-draft stuff and when the Spurs won the lottery, but he found himself in the best scenario possible under Greg Popovich and a Spurs organization that has had bigs like Tim Duncan and David Robinson. And what we've been seeing early in summer league and preseason is that they plan to let him play like a point forward, like a point center, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love that for Wemby in his rookie year to be in a situation where they're going to let him be the main ball handler, always have the ball in his hands, creating opportunities, doing whatever he wants with the ball. I think is the best thing you can ask for because the Spurs are not win now, and so you might as well let your future Hall of Famer start to progress as early as possible.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. 100%.
All right. Then that leaves us with the big award. That leaves us with the big award. And with the big award, I went with a boring name. I went with Nikola Jokic
Damn again.
again.
Oh,
Obviously he won it 2 out of the last 3 years. Um, I would say he should have won it last year. I actually did say he should have won it last year. And I'm kind of saying he should win it this year because of that. Obviously, he's going to have more media hype and more media attention around him, just as well as the Nuggets since they won a championship. And because of that, he's not going to suffer from that lack of media hype like he did years prior, I think. So I have Jokic winning MVP. Obviously, you know what he does in the regular season. You know how the Nuggets play. You know the system that they have. He's the catalyst for everything. I don't expect his numbers to change because he's Nikola Jokic. So give me Nikola Jokic for MVP.
um, I'm gonna be a little bit of a contrarian on this one.
Please, please.
Contrarian. I love saying that word contrarian. That's a fun big word. So when we look down the entire MVP ballot potential players that could win it this year. Okay, Giannis and Jokic. Those two are the most obvious choices. I don't think, me personally, I don't think that will happen because of voter fatigue. Again, that obviously sucks. I'm not in these voter discussions. I hope so soon one day, but I'm not in those discussions. So we'll move down the list. LeBron and KD. Will they play a full season? Unfortunately, no, because of their age and wear and tear on their bodies already. Who else going down?
Hold on, hold
Debo.
on, hold on. I already know who your MVP is. No, actually, no,
Damn
it's
it.
not gonna be him. It's not gonna be him.
Let's see. Let's see. D book. I don't think so. I don't think so. Luca, I know he was a bit of a more consensus pick over these past few years, but not anymore because I don't think the Mavs are gonna get that many wins for him to be in those MVP convos. Embiid, excuse my language, but he went on like a hole last year in the playoffs. You went like a hole last year in the playoffs, so voters they're not going to consider him in those discussions, in those convos. So let me speed up this a little bit, my reasoning. And so with what Matt just put up on the screen just now,
Is it
I
actually
think
him?
my choice. I think my choice for this year's MVP is going to be Jason Christopher Tatum. Jason Tatum. He will win MVP this year. You heard it here first.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. He was on my short list. He was on my short list. He was actually third on my list. It was Jokic, Luca, Tatum.
Yeah, no bias with that whatsoever. Um,
Sure.
yeah, no bias, no bias. Well, okay, 95% of it was unbiased. That's my official statistic.
No,
But
go
for
ahead. Go ahead. Talk about it.
my reasoning with Tatum winning MVP, I just think that with the team right now, with the additions of Drew Holiday and Porzingis, that big four, if those four guys can stay healthy throughout the entire season, they're probably going to win a lot of games. They're going to most likely win a lot of games, probably near 55, even 60 wins throughout the whole year. And so with Tatum, he'd have the advantage with the amount of wins. So this would potentially have this year alongside his great numbers. Even then, the efficiency can even go higher, especially with the additions of Holiday and Porzingis, him getting more open looks, the floor spacing up, which would lead to easier scoring opportunities, more open looks, more open shots. So you add those factors together, and alongside the storyline of him potentially being that next big star, being that next big name in the entire league, I think this season it's going to be his year to cement himself as a top five, potentially a top five guy in the NBA with the MVP.
Here's the reason I didn't pick Tatum for MVP, and it's the same reasons that you picked him. You stated that Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and those new additions would be able to boost his efficiency, give him better looks. I agree with that. I actually do. But I also think that those new pieces like a Porzingis, like a Drew Holiday, are going to take some of those scoring opportunities away. I think we'll see Drew Holiday average more points than Marcus Smart did. I think we'll see Porzingis average more points than Robert Williams did. I think Peyton Pritchard having an increased role means he's going to be shot chucking a lot more than a Malcolm Brogdon off the bench did. So I think that since you're feeding all those mouths, I feel like Tatum's individual stats might not look as good. And at the end of the day, the MVP award is very stat heavy. It's very story heavy, but it's also very stat heavy. So that was kind of what swayed me away from Jason Tatum.
Man, okay, but here's my rebuttal though, right? Drew Holiday, I don't think his scoring numbers are going to increase that much, let alone at all, because I think with him being a team player, obviously, and add that with the fact that he's not the second option anymore, like he was in Milwaukee. So he's gonna bank on the defensive side of the ball more consistently throughout the entire year. He don't gotta worry that much offensively because we already have three guys on our team that are much better scorers than him. So I feel like he's going to take a step back in that regard. Porzingis, he's already come out saying that he's okay with taking a step back if the Celtics would become more of a winning team with us getting more wins. So I feel like with those two being on board to have their numbers diminish, I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem with
But
potential mounts being fed throughout the year.
but I think they'll take a step. I agree. They'll take a step back, but I think they're still increasing the production that was there before. I mean, was Rob was averaging? Was he even averaging double digit points?
No, and
So
if he was, probably like barely on that 10 point mark.
right. So Rob was barely at that 10 points. I don't think Porzingis is going to average like a 20 like he did last year, but I think he could be like 16 to 18. Drew Holiday averaged 20 last year. He or 19, but I think he could be in that 16, 15 range. I think a guy like O'Shea Brissett stepping in for Grant Williams will average more because he's a more offensive minded type of a player. Um, so I just think the offense increased. Like I just think that there's more mouths to feed, and that can be a positive and it can be a detriment. And I think it's a positive in terms of team success, which is obviously a factor in the MVP award.
Mhm.
But that those new pieces also take time for continuity. So maybe the Celtics aren't finishing as a two. Well, I was gonna say maybe they're not finishing as a two seed, but I have them being top two in the East for sure. So um so that's not true. But um the Jason Tatum pick isn't bad. It's not bad. There's just a lot of question marks with it compared to a Jokic, which I feel like we already know what we get with Jokic.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely,
don't hate it. I don't
absolutely,
hate it.
man. That's fair. That's fair. Whew. All right, man.
All right,
Last segment.
last
Hey,
segment.
quick one. Finals
You
predictions.
you go first. You go first. I went first the whole episode. You gotta go first for finals predictions.
Fair enough. All right. So with the two teams I'm picking to be in the finals this year are the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. And with
Mm,
my finals prediction, I predict that the Denver Nuggets will lose to the Boston Celtics in
wow.
6 games. Banner 18
Wow.
is coming to Boston. Beantown stand up. Boston stand up. Jason Tatum Finals MVP. And we gonna be lit. We gonna be popping bottles, man. We gonna be lit. It's gonna be a great time. Come June 2024, the Boston Celtics will retake the Larry O'Brien Trophy, which they rightfully deserve.
Dibo, we were so close to being cohesive. We were so close to being in unison as lunchroom debates. But you had to let your bias get the better of you. You had to let your fandom get the better of you, which I understand as a Knicks fan. I'm
Hey,
definitely guilty of
Milwaukee.
this.
I ain't afraid of Milwaukee. I'm not afraid of Cleveland. I'm not
No,
afraid of
no.
Miami. Tyler, we coming for y'all. Tyler, we coming for y'all. I'm not scared of no Jimmy Butler. I'm not scared of no Bam. I'm not scared of no Hero. Bro, we got the squad to beat so this year. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about any teams in the East, the West. Hey, I'm fine with the East already, man. The West is all I'm worried about. At which I don't really know, man. The Nuggets, hey, we can beat them. Lakers, we can beat them. Suns, man, they don't got the defense to keep up with us. We'll clamp them up easy, man. It's easy. Come on now.
No.
Oh, it's
So
the
so
Celtics.
so last year in the finals, I said that we might be looking at the next dynasty with the Denver Nuggets. So I stayed consistent, and I had the Denver Nuggets making it out of the West for me. Then the East was a bit more tricky because, as you mentioned, there were a handful of teams. Let's start with the Milwaukee Bucks. They obviously just acquired Damian Lillard. Um, the Bucks, to me, I think are a next year team. I understand that the Bucks, obviously, after the Drew Holiday trade, they won the following year, but I think that this roster is not the same roster. There's more. There's a lack of depth. Obviously, you're having to insert guys like Pat Connaughton into the starting lineup because of that. So I think that that lack of depth might hurt them in the long run. Obviously, they also have aging players like a Chris Middleton and Brooke Lopez. So and a first year head coach in Adrian Green. So I think they might be 1 year away. I think next year is probably their better chance. Um, and then let's just be honest, it was between Celtics and Heat after that. Like Cavs are one piece away. Sixers, too many stinkers in the playoffs to have them making it to the finals. Um, and so I chose the Celtics because of those new additions. because of a Drew Holiday who's a playoff savvy vet, championship winner. A Porzingis who can extend the floor for you and protect the rim. You obviously still have Al Horford. I think Jaylen Brown will be much better with his left hand than he was last year just because of all that stuff. Even though I don't know if you saw the video that came out of him dribbling with his right and then his left. I thought it was
Well,
pretty funny
during like practice, yeah, I've
during
seen.
practice, and it looked really bad. I thought that
Yeah,
was pretty funny. But I think he'll be better. I think he'll be better. So that left me with Nuggets and Celtics in the finals. And oh my, I just who's defending Jokic? I mean, you can ask that question to all 29 other teams in the league, and there's not a good answer. There's just not a good answer, and because of that, I took the Nuggets in six.
hey man, but I feel like, and this is not gonna, be on a completely unbiased take, but I feel like when we compare it to the Nuggets right now, I feel like our guard play defensively. I think we can match their offensive production. I'm being completely serious. We have having both Holiday and Derek White, if they can stay healthy in that potential matchup, I think that they'll be able to slow down Jamal, or they'll be able to slow down other guys too with their wings, just enough to negate their obvious, major efficiencies with their offensive production.
But on the flip side, I'd say look at Aaron Gordon. We saw what Aaron Gordon did to KD last year in the playoffs. KD had a very uncomfortable series to the point where, for the first time in a very long time, KD wasn't the best player on his team in the playoffs. Um, and so I think that Aaron Gordon, he'll have a better size matchup with Jason Tatum. I think he's the stronger of the two. He's built bigger. I
Mhm.
think he'll be able to play that good defense against Jason Tatum. You'll have KCP against Bruce Brown or against Jaylen Brown, which is a pretty solid matchup. And then, I mean, I don't think the Celtics are killing you offensively like against Jokic. Like their front court. I
No,
mean,
no, no, no. I don't believe
yeah,
that at all. No,
yeah,
Jokic is gonna get his.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like a
so
big rotation of Horford and Porzingis. Although I do like the defensive potential those
mhm,
two can cause.
mhm.
Nikola Jokic is a different animal, and we obviously saw that during last postseason against the best defensive bigs in the entire league in both AD and Bam. So,
Yeah. And then another thing was the coaching matchup. I expect Joe Mazzulla to be a lot better this year. But I still think Michael Malone is a far better coach than him.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't blame you on that one.
So that was me picking the Nuggets. That was the rationale.
Hey man, you know the Nuggets going to the finals. I won't be surprised at all about that. I think they're the most complete team in the Western Conference by far, potentially the entire league. But
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
yo, hey, I'll say this: 15 years without a chip. 15 years since the last time the Boston Celtics won the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Do you know when it was before that?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say. It's too.
1987.
Yeah.
1987. You guys are just as poverty as the Knicks. KG just saved you 1 year.
No, the fuck it's not. Yo. So
let
y'all
let
ain't
me.
won. Y'all ain't won since the Vietnam War. Y'all ain't won anything since uh,
When was the last time we won?
y'all
Was
ain't
it
won nothing.
73? It might have been 73. I'm trying to think.
72 around that
72.
time. Who cares? No one was barely alive during that time.
That's a
No one
reason.
can even remember that.
There's a reason we call the rings what we do in the group chat. I don't know if we're allowed to say it.
What? Oh,
Do you know? You know. I assume.
yeah. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We won't say that. We won't say that. But
All
there's
I
a
know is
reason.
that
There's a reason it's called it.
it's just old as shit. The O-ring's old as shit, man. Knicks ain't never married since like the '90s, since
Yeah,
like Tupac was alive. So I'm not worried about the
yeah.
Knicks.
Word on the street is
That's
that Thomas
shit.
Jefferson saw the last time the Knicks won a championship.
That is true. I would not lie about that. I think
That's word on the street.
that'd be an agreeable statement. But hey, man, NBA title is coming home to Boston. It's about damn time.
No.
It's
If it
gonna
if
be
it
the
goes to
year.
Boston, I'll be so upset. I will be
It's gonna be
so
the
upset.
year. It's gonna be the year. Bro,
I don't know.
dog, if we win the chip, especially against the Nuggets, I'm gonna act a damn fool. I'm
Bro,
gonna.
I can't wait for the Celtics to like lose early in the playoffs, like second round, or get like losing five to in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then Dibo to make another video like, dude, what is this team doing? We remember that
I,
video. We
yeah,
remember that
that
video
was
you posted.
that was pent up aggression. That was pent up anger. Hey man, my emotions
Hey,
got the best of me. I've been trying to not let sports get to me that bad, but that last year that
oh,
pissed me off.
sports always get the better of us. But they low key listened to you. They were down 0-3. Debo makes a video. It was a 3-3 comeback. Um, and then they stunk
Yeah,
it
we
up in
did.
that game seven.
We just didn't finish the damn job. Jason Tatum, his ankle, it got fucking twisted. Like the
Yeah.
first possession of the game, and then we just couldn't execute throughout.
For Jason Tatum being such a Kobe and Mamba guy, he should have known job was not finished.
Hey, the job will be finished this year. That's all I know. It'll be finished this year.
Mm. If Celtics don't make the finals, is it time to fire Joe Mazzulla?
It depends on how we do.
Good.
So,
That's the good answer, but that's the cop out answer.
hey man,
That's the right answer, but that's the cop out answer.
I'm not worried about it at all because we're gonna win the chip this year.
You
We're gonna
gotta
win
make it
the
through New
chip.
York.
I'm not worried about New York. Y'all gonna be first round exits. Y'all probably gonna lose to like Atlanta or Cleveland.
Boy, the disrespect. Do you not just see what we did last year to Cleveland?
Hey man, it's a new
Cleveland
season.
put, you want to talk about putting no fear in my heart? That front court puts no fear in my heart.
Man, that entire team fucking stunk last
No,
year.
but they'll be better. Cleveland will
Jesus.
be better in playoffs this year because now Evan Mobley and DG, the PG, got some experience.
Man, I hope so because man, they blew bro. They went on like man, you losing five in the first round last year, and you had home field advantage. You had home court advantage. That's embarrassing. That's
I mean,
embarrassing.
what were they supposed to do? They played the best team in the NBA.
That's cap. That's why you got your ass kicked by Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent. Nobody predicted y'all to win that series in the playoffs. That's
That's
sad,
cap.
bro.
That's just cap. I predicted us.
Okay, but you
But
don't matter. I'm
who
talking
did?
about the majority. I'm
There's
talking about
definitely some
game
bias
man.
behind my pick, but I'm telling you, if we won that game one, it would have been a different series.
Y'all
That
still
was
would have lost.
that was the only game Jalen Brunson did not perform.
Bro,
Jalen
y'all
Brunson
still would have
performed
lost the
every other
series.
game that series.
Bro, that man Jimmy Butler ankle was like a balloon the whole series after that game one, and y'all still lost in six.
Well, that's Tibbs. Oh my! Don't get me started on Tibbs. Don't
Bro,
get
the next game y'all barely lost to Gabe Vincent and their role players. Like,
barely won,
what
barely
do
won.
you? Oh yeah, barely won. My fault.
But
Barely won.
that was what was it? That was Julius Randle's best playoff game of his career because
Damn.
he had like 25 in it. Because remember, game one, Obi Toppin was going off because Julius Randle was out. Game two was his first game back. He had like 25.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, no way, are we getting playoff Julius Randle? And then the rest of the series happened, and I was like, oh, we are getting playoff Julius Randle.
Yeah. That man gotta step it up, man. But yeah, with this episode, we gotta wrap it up. We
Let's
gotta
go.
wrap this episode up. Very fun one too. I love
Yeah,
man. It's probably one of my favorite ones we've ever recorded. To be honest,
facts. Facts. The two man we've been carried it today. Let's just be honest.
an instant classic in the lunchroom debates lore.
Hey, but Debo usually does this. I'll relieve him of his duties today. Go follow us on IG, on TikTok, subscribe on YouTube. I think that's all the platforms, right? I'm not tripping.
You said
Subscribe on
IG,
YouTube.
TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah, that's
Yep.
all three.
At Lunchroom Debates is the handle. We kept it consistent throughout. We try to keep it easy on you guys. And since we did keep it easy on you guys, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, man. If y'all watch this, man, yeah, just drop a follow, drop subscribe, throw a little bit of some comments in there, and talking about if we dumb for our takes or if we complete they geniuses. Hey, man, it doesn't matter. Just give your opinion.
No, no, don't give your opinion. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. But don't give your opinion on IG or TikTok because that's where the toxic comments come from.
Yeah, we get baked the fuck on those on
Bro,
IG,
we
TikTok.
got baked the fuck on the fucking tush push
It's
on
so
TikTok
bad.
and Insta.
It's so bad, man.
Um,
Well, that's just the that's just the things that you got to go through as becoming a content creator for sports on social media. That's what comes with it. You got people getting mad at you.
yeah, but what are we? We're on the road to 8K on TikTok, about 500, 400 away there. Road to 5K on Insta, about 500, 400 away there. Road to
Right, man.
700 on YouTube, about 98 away there. So hit the follow, hit the subscribe, because we
Please,
post
man.
daily.
Yeah, we do, and obviously with the NBA, NFL, both in full swing, and we're gonna be locked in these next few months. Hey, so stay
100%.
with us for a little bit because we work our ass off every week. We give y'all what y'all need. Every week too with our daily content. Great positivity, great vibes going on, and we hope you stick with us on our journey to becoming and even bigger at like we already are, like we already are right now with this platform. So
No, for sure. Not even a year in. Not even a year in, and we've been doing some shit. Um, I, I'm telling you, be ready. Be ready. Turn of the calendar year, December, January. We got a month off from school. It's about to be special. It's about to be a movie.
we gonna lock in for sure, man. Hey, that underdog fantasy sponsorship that's gonna
And
come in soon.
I'm
Hey,
so there.
we gonna lock in with that soon.
Uh,
Underdog fantasy price picks. We gonna get all that sponsorship money soon, man. We just gotta keep going with this process, which we will, and we will achieve those goals we have. So thank y'all, man. But hey, we gotta wrap it up for now, bro. We been kind of rambling on for a little bit,
yeah,
which hey man, it's kind of good sometimes just to ramble about stuff because for some things that you're passionate about, hey man, you just gotta keep thinking and keep achieving with what you want to what you want to do in the future. So
100%, 100%. But with that being said, let's get out of here.
let's get out of here.
Let's skedaddle, as the cool kids say.
Peace. That is not what the cool kids say. That man meant a cornball. But we gotta be out of here later, y'all.
Peace.